Hello, today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today we're going to be working with JFrames and I'm going to give you skeleton code. So we're going to go right in here onto GitHub and we're going to type in my name. And this is the way you're going to get this. Now you could get this in the link in the description, but I just want to show you how to get here on the website. So Kyle Denker, type that in, that's my name. Just click on users and if you click right here, you should be able to get to my profile. Now on my profile you have the picture of me, and then with my mannequin. And if we come over here to AP Computer Science Notes, just click there, and we will have the skeleton codes that we're going to be using in the future. So we're going to come click on Your Adventure because we're going to be making an adventure game for today, and we're going to click right here under Your Adventure. Now, you could copy and paste this in just by selecting it, or you could download it. It is really up to you on how you want to get this particular piece of information. If you really want to retype it, we're good to go. I already have it in Eclipse, and let me just move this into the correct spot. And in Eclipse, you're going to be noticing a few things. First, we're no longer using applets. It extends a J component. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but it still uses the mouse listener. If we scroll down to the bottom, we have this thing called a main method, and this is where the program's going to start to be run. And you really don't have to change anything here. I've done all the work that you'll need to do. But set size is still there if you really want to change the size, and if you really want to change the color, you have those two options right there. But we're going to be using something called a JFrame. Now there's going to be a little bit of a difference between using a JFrame and an applet. A JFrame, in general, will be used for a application-based something. So something that you would run on a desktop or your Mac or your PC, whatever you use at home. Whereas an applet exists only in the web. So when we're looking at an applet, the applet is in the browser. So once it's in the browser, that's the only thing that we can really do it. So it doesn't have that versatility to it. So we're going to be using them pretty much exactly the same way. You're going to notice that there is a paint method here. The Your Adventure method here is what we call a constructor. You do not need to know that as of yet. We'll be talking about constructors in a very big detail there, but for all your point and purposes, it's the same as the initialize or the init method in an applet. So let's get started with a little bit here. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to learn how to draw text onto the screen. Since the background is already red, we're going to change the color. And we're going to do color dot white, just to add a little bit of contrast to it. And we're going to do g dot draw string. And what we're going to type in here is, where would you like to go? And I am going to place this pretty close to the top. I'm going to put it at 1010. And make sure you have your closing quotations here. So where would you like to go? Place 1010. I'm going to run this. And oops, it took a little while to load. I'm sorry about that. That's because I have a million of these open. So where would you like to go? Perfect. Let's close these out real quick. Close, close, and close. The next thing I'm going to have on here is I'm going to have an option. So I'm going to have a draw string in here. And we're going to type in taco ball. And I'm going to put this at 10, but I'm going to put this a little bit further down at 100. And the next one I'm going to have is I'm going to draw another string in here. And I'm going to say McDonald's. And McDonald's is going to be located at 200, 100. So if I run this, I'm going to have a, where would you like to go? Taco Ball or McDonald's. So when we do this, we want to create different options of what we would like to create in here. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this up a little bit. I'm going to have something in here called int screen. I'm going to set it equal to 0. So I would like you to create different methods of how everything works. So we're going to have a public void in here called starting screen. Now, in this particular method, we are creating one that's public. We'll talk a little bit more of that later, void and start screen. So you're going to have to type these out individually. What you're going to do here is I'm going to cut and paste that in here. All right. So if we look here, we're going to go if screen is equal to 0, then we're going to say starting screen. What this is doing here is if this is true, we're going to go to this particular method and do everything in here. Exactly how we were talked about if statements last week. This time we're just saying, okay, we're jumping to this piece of code here. Now we're going to see that there's a G here, and we really need to keep that in there. So we're going to put a G right there, and we're going to do graphics G again. This way we don't get the error. So going forward from here, I'm going to have two examples. We're going to have public void, and then I'm going to have taco ball here. Again, I'm going to pass over graphics. And I am going to say g.set color.white again, and I will say g.draw string. You are at Taco Ball. I'll do that 10-10. For McDonald's, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to copy this, though, just to be a little bit faster for the video. So I'm going to call this McDonald's, and we're going to be at McDonald's. Now, how do we control which one we see? We're going to come up here, and we're going to do else if screen is equal to 1. Then we're going to go to Taco Ball. G. Otherwise, if screen is equal to 2, we're going to be going to McDonald's. Perfect. So now we have these if statements here, and we're only going to go to one of them. So as we change this different screen, we'll be able to go to different places. So let's go ahead and talk about mouse clicked for a second. We can get the position of it within the mouse clicked, or wherever we're clicking here. So I'm going to do a system.out.println for a second here. And the way we get the x coordinate is we type in whatever this variable is here. If it's argo or if it's e, you're going to have to use whatever is right there. So in my case, it's e. So I'm going to do e.getx, and I'm going to put a space right here and e.getY. This way I get the x and y coordinate of wherever I'm going. Make sure you have pluses here. We'll talk about string concatenation a little bit later, but just know how that works for now. We run it, and now if we click, we're clicking here. Okay, that was about 27 and 100. As I move down, they kind of move around here. McDonald's is right here. Same kind of height issue here, but we start closer to the 200 mark. So let's go ahead and try to get this. If e.getx is greater than 10 and e.getY or x is less than 100, and so we just pretty much put the bounding rectangle on the x coordinate, but we need to do it on the y as well. So where we place this y is at around 100, so we'll give it a little bit of play. We'll do get y as long as it's greater than 90, and e.get y is less than 110. So it gives me a little bit of play. We're going to say screen is equal to 1. So we run this. It's not going to work because I forgot something. And we should all be familiar with the repaint method. So after we do all this, we do need to repaint. So let's load this up. We click all around. We're not getting there, but if we try to click on Taco Bell, it says we are in the Taco Bell. Perfect. So let's do this again for the for McDonald's. McDonald's is pretty easy as well. We're going to come over here, copy this if statement. The X's are in the exact same spot, but the Y's are not. I'm sorry, let's change that up. The Y's are in the correct spot, the X's are not. This right here should be at 200, and we'll say this is around 300. So we run this program again. I'm starting to create a lot of these different programs. If I click anywhere here, I should be able to click right there. Oh, I went into Taco Bell there. That is because I said it was equal to 2. Now, when you do this, right, McDonald's now. Now, when I do this, if I find the magic spot, I should be able to go to Taco Bell. That is not what we want. So these options only exist if screen is equal to 0. So if screen is equal to 0, then we can say these things. So we need to make sure that we have that if statement there. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to build out this story. You get, make sure you take a look at the assignments and the description of seeing what you need to do. But this right here should be enough to get you started. Good luck, and I can't wait to see what you create. Have a great week programming. Bye-bye.